most well-attended Q&A we've done so far too. Thanks for coming early. It was so nice to meet some of you, David, Ashley, and crew down up here actually earlier. I've asked this the last few nights, so just indulge me. How many of you actually have joined us already this week one time? Guys, you guys are heroes. You guys are heroes. And I'll say it again, it's gonna be exactly the same.
Just watch a different performer
every night.
That's the idea.
But thanks for coming early, and you've got us in a very Christmas celebratory mood, and it's exciting to get to know you, and you are so far away on those questions.
Kelly Walker, are you here? Kelly asks, how long have some of your band members been with you? Any the entire time?
Yeah. Not the entire time, but we do have, is Vince at 9 years, or is he 10?
I think next year he's 10.
It might be 10 years, and so 10 years is, I mean, really what he was actually very wise. He just got rid of all the really hard years and was like, oh, you know, things are going on the up and up. We'll join the band now, you know. So he's made some smart decisions. But Vince has been with us 9. How many have been with us for 5? We've got, is it D'Lo, Garrett, Waterbury, all kind of 5-ish.
Came at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, and Garrett is married to Hannah, who's the violinist. So she's kind of been in and around at that amount of time. And then, you know, you've got Chris and Dave that have been with us for a couple of years as well. So none from the very, very beginning, but Vince is, he's the OG at this point, you know, so he's been with us for a hot minute.
Janice Conley?
Right there.
What piece that you've written are you the most surprised of its success?
Which one is Janice? Okay, got you. Song, right? Honestly, God only knows. It was such an interesting, you know, there's this statement that objectivity and creativity are two functions that can't occur simultaneously. You know, so if you're working on something, you're like, I don't know if this is good or not, and then you go away the next day and you look at it, it's like, it's and so we wrote God on the Nose, and I think Luke and I both left, and we're like, okay, that's sort of novel, you know? Interesting thought. Ironically, I had completely forgotten about the Beach Boys. God only knows what I do without you. And I think if I had remembered, we probably wouldn't have written it that day. I just didn't even think about it. And we got home, and we have Luke with Courtney and me with Mariah, a pretty clear wife test, and he plays it for the kids as well. And I remember playing it for Mariah and he for Courtney, and both of them going, that's like, pay attention. That's really meaningful, that's really special. And we called each other, we're like, what did Mariah say? What did Courtney say? And so yeah, that turns out that song, it was a normal day in Nashville. We just showed up, you know, working on the record. It's been the greatest gift of any song we've ever been given to date. And yet we didn't know, you know, in the early stages. Thank you, dear.
Sadie Lynch?
Sadie Lynch, right over there.
Sadie asks, what is your favorite thing about Christmas?
Favorite thing about Christmas? Look, I mean, obviously, it's pretty nice to have the Savior of the world be born. That's pretty helpful, you know? But I think that this is, in some cases, especially in the creative world, I mean, we'll probably still be doing a bit more, but today's kind of the last, like, real work day of the year for the creatives in labels and all sorts of different things. And everything kind of shuts down and slows down for a little bit. And I think, you know, it's very, very important to take a break. It's very, very important to get some perspective. It's very important to spend time with family. You know, I find that spending time with family is the you know, second to the Bible, the greatest perspective giver that can be given. And at times you've just got to get away from the phone, get away from all the things that are kind of nagging at you. And that's what I love about Christmas, you know, is I think why people talk about Christmas memories so much is because, you know, everybody else is kind of spending time with their family, and so therefore you're given that opportunity to do that as well, you know. So that's what I love about Christmas. I love, you know, I've often said that Christmas is kind of, we do these types of events every year, you know, so the last show till about January 2nd or 3rd, that's Christmas for me. So even after Christmas, you know, the memories you make there, that's what I kind of attribute to Christmas memories. So that's what I love about Christmas.
Joe Walsh?
You're a great guitarist, right?
The
Joe
great
Walsh.
Joe Walsh. The man, the myth.
Joe asks, is there a part of the movie you would have left out, added, or done differently?
Oh yeah, you talk about Lifetime Hero, Joe. Yeah, great question.
He really liked it all. You know?
I just was so impressed with myself the whole time. No. Look, it's terrifying to make a movie in general because you're spending more money than you'd ever spend as musicians, someone else's money, to make this thing that you think people are going to show up for. It's also terrifying to make a movie about your own family and about your parents. Like, my parents are still with us, and actually Dad's here. And I'm so grateful they're still with us, but it's almost easier when a parent has even passed because it's just, you know, it's legacy at that point, and you're just memorializing them. So there was a lot of complexity going into it. We had everyone read the scripts beforehand, you know, all the family members. I sent it to Mom and Dad, and I think Dad said something to the effect of, yeah, Mom and I are good with it, you know, and then I come to find out after we'd finished filming that he'd never read the script. And I think in fairness, he just was like, if I had read it, I probably would have wanted to change things, and like, you gotta understand there's a delineation between film and a documentary, for instance, like we just released. So someone summed it up really well. They said a film is like a painting of someone, an interpretation, and a documentary is like a picture, you know. So there was certainly, you know, areas where we embellished. If I had to change anything about it, Dad would say, you know, don't play me so seriously. That would be Dad's comment. But honestly, I'm really happy with it. It was also terrifying stepping in as an actor, playing your own dad. Like, it was literally his jacket from 30 years ago. But I watched it recently, but when we watched it back, I just was like, I'm proud of all of us. Like, we really did something that is kind of profound. What's cool about movie making is it's not any one of us. Like, it might have been me on screen, but the amount of safety that Lou created for me as a producer and as a partner and on set, and you know, all the different members is what made it so special. So yeah, I'm gonna say, no, you're all right. Do you want me to tell them hello? It's okay, you're fine. We've all done it. We've all done it. But yeah, so I'm very proud of it, Joe. I wish there was more. I wish there was more to it, but very proud.
Diana Couch? Diana asks, what is the story or inspiration behind God Only Knows?
Yeah, well, that day we'd actually never written with those, or Joel had written with them actually once before, and I had just met these guys, Josh Kerr and Jordan Reynolds were the two guys we wrote that song with. And I hadn't spent much, you know, time with them. And writing is interesting because, yeah, especially in Nashville, a lot of times you're with new writers all the time, and people just kind of get into it right away, like 30 minutes in, like, hey man, cool, yeah, how many, you know, you married, yeah, cool, you got kids, cool, all right, let's write a song. And I don't really do that very well. I kind of need to know these people, and so we got to hang out. We probably hung out for a deceptively long time, maybe, you know, an hour or two, and before we ever even started talking songs. And then Joel had just had a song title, God Only Knows, and pretty quickly it was like, yeah, God only knows the things, you know, what people say about you, you know, God only knows how, you know, how things might be killing you, you know, God only knows. And we kind of kept coming up with these lines, and the inspiration that I was coming from anyway is we got, and still do get, you know, hundreds and hundreds of letters of people going through really, really difficult things all the time. Mental health crises, sickness, hard stuff. That's the hard stuff of life. And I was always trying to think through, well, what can I say to them? You know, what can I say to the person who's feeling defeated? You know, what can I say to the person that feels a little lost? And I think that, you know, probably the most comforting thing that if God really knows the hairs that are on your head, He certainly knows the thoughts that are going on in your mind, and He knows your pain. He sees your pain. He sees your hardship, and He's compassionate and He's merciful. I can't think of a better thing that you could say to somebody else, you know, because sometimes when people are going through hard things, you want to have all the answers. And sometimes it's as simple as, man, I see you, and I love you, and I care for you. And I think that was always the hope for that song for other people.
Maria Minnemeyer? How satisfying is it to pound on the Joel drum, as we call it?
I didn't know about the Joel drum. There's a Joel drum. Nice to see you, Maria. Is that the Joel drum, or is it the concert drum? The big one? Yeah. The one that I pick up at the end? All right, cool. The Joel drum. Quite satisfying, yeah. In all seriousness, what's cool about the rendition, and I'll give you a little thing to focus on, particularly those that have been with us the last few nights. When you're crafting a concert, you want to hit these moments, you know, like one of my favorite moments when I come out to the audience and just have sort of this improv moment. You want people to laugh. And then you want to have these sort of bombastic moments, and you want to have these emotional moments, but how you finish in anything is obviously the culminating moments are really important. And when I'm back there and Luke and Phoenix, Luke's son, the drummer boy, are going up on the pod, and which is just spectacular even of itself, I'm, you know, banging on the Joel drum, but what I'm saying, I'm actually singing ad-libs. All I can give is me and my drum. I'm just like, all I can give is me and my drum. Over and over again, I'm saying, all I can give is me and my drum. And there's some real cool sort of offering inside that on behalf of the band of going like, we've just played for 2.5 hours and played our hearts out, you know. And I get to just sing this moment, like as I'm playing the Joel drum, all I can give is me and my drum. And there's points I've got, as silly as it sounds, I've gotten emotional at that point of the night going like, this is my offering, you know, this is our offering, is what you're about to see for the next few hours. So, yeah, I'm gonna hang on to that, the Joel drum.
Katie Casey? That's you. Katie asks, do you ever get tired of performing any of the songs you sing at your concerts?
I mean, no, not really. I mean,
there has been one on this tour that I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you which one.
I'll tell you which one. It's the proof of your love. We've sung that song, I mean, probably 1,500 times,
years, yeah.
You know, at some level. Yeah, I mean, look, we've sung that song a lot, right? But it still matters to you all. And that's the thing that's always interesting is there's nothing worse than playing a song that, you know, you may be tired of, but if it still matters to the people, you still play the song, because I don't, you know, if we have our way and we play all the songs that we really love, and yet no one else cares about them, it's pretty disappointing as well, because that's not a lot of fun. We actually like to play the songs that you all like, hence the reason why Proof of Your Love is still in the set. And so occasionally, you know, depending on, you know, what you might eat before the show or whatever, there's occasional times, like 2/3 of the way through the show, you're like, I don't have a lot of energy left, you know, because it starts pretty intense, and you got to keep it going. That's the only thing that ever really happens. But no, for the most part, it's all got its purpose. It's all kind of got its rhyme, and it's got its reason, and you know, for the most part, no, there's not really, you know, other than Joel's comment, but not really a song that we regret too much.
Michelle Fink, what was the best part of this year at home?
You know, my sister's married name is Fink. Did you know that? Yeah. Rebecca Fink. She married Cubby or Jacob Fink. F-I-N-K, right? And makeup. The best part of this year off, you know what, it was just actually being home. Like, our schedule can be so inconsistent that you never feel like you actually just fully land anywhere. You're home for 3 or 4 days and then you're sort of ripped away, and everyone has to really, Luke says it really well, that I just want to be dependent upon again. Because when you're coming and going all the time, people have to sort of make do without you. They can't really depend on you day by day. So, yeah, and like the weekends, just a Saturday at home. I know it sounds silly, but again, we're all usually doing shows on Saturdays because that's when you want to come and see us, which makes sense. But just the fact that everyone sort of stops working, at least our team stops working on Saturday, and we could be home was really lovely. And just having that extra kind of, we have a great community on the road, but just having home community, and even this, I've not said this before, but even just seeing the seasons change. I got to see like it go from summer to fall to winter, whereas usually like we'll go away and then sometimes we'll come back, the leaves are on the trees, and then we come back and they're just gone, you know, we missed that whole bit. So it's the little things, but it's been really nice lately, I think.
Carrie Simmons. Carrie asks, what led to the decision to use the marimba and timpani in a live show instead of synthesizers?
Yeah. Well, I think that anything that you can do on stage to be as real as possible, I think that I just think it's important. I think it sounds cool. I mean, the marimba looks cool as well. We're always pretty concerned about how things look up here, if you haven't already can't tell. And then timpanis sound amazing. You know, timpanis are, you know, if you actually think through a lot of film scores and things, timpanis are shaping your adrenaline. They're actually shaping the anticipation and shaping how that works. And if you actually go and listen to a lot of soundtracks, listen to and ask yourself the question of, why do I feel happy right now? And listen to the music. And then you can ask yourself, why do I feel sad right now? And listen to, in some cases, how the soundtrack is actually manipulating your emotions, which is insane. So there are certain instruments that kind of do the same, right? There are certain instruments that move you in a certain direction. So timpanis, you know, quite frankly, we like them, you know, and you know, synthesizers are cool, but you've just got to balance. One of the things that we always try to talk about, with organic with electronics. How can we balance, you know, organic with electronics, and try to do that as best as you can, because, you know, the organic instruments have stood the test of time for a reason. You know, synthesizers at some level do come and go in style, and they, you know, we've used plenty of them. We've got plenty of them up on stage as well. But you gotta, you know, in all music, you just gotta be careful how, you know, you don't want to tip the scale in some cases too much one direction. And so, but yeah, I mean, marimbas are fun, timpanis are fun. We put them on stage.
That reminds me of something more about the Joel drum. Speaking of instruments, this is just a fun fact for us. It's the longest instrument that we've had with us on stage. It's been with us all 12 years. I literally bought it off Craigslist for $300 in 2012, and it felt like $1,000. It did. It was like the most expensive thing we'd ever bought as a band. It was the first road case we ever got, and it has literally stayed with us all this way. I mean, when I showed up for the Craigslist thing, I thought I was either going to get shot or scammed. But
the disappointing part about the Joel drum is it used to be the Luke drum.
And now it's
so
the Joel
I'd say great insult.
Michaela Watson. If you could meet any Bible character besides Jesus, who would you want to meet and why?
Yeah, that's good. 3, I think.
She said 1.
I'm going the extra mile here, Luke. I think Esther's a fascinating character. I think Moses, you know, this guy's a murderer. And then I think Paul is fascinating, you know, like just such radical changes, and so much of the literal church is built on the epistles, you know, Paul's books. So I think he'd be such a passionate man, I would imagine. So yeah, those are 3 for 1 deal, you know, 1 for 3 deal.
Lori Hartley.
Sorry.
The one with the phone. You blamed it on a spam call too, wasn't it? It was a spam call. It was? Oh, that's what they all say.
Lori asks, how are the cows, Luke?
How are the cows? Oh, you're redeeming yourself quite wonderfully, you know. The cows are good. I actually fed them today. It rained yesterday, so I was trying to get them some fresh hay that wasn't damp. Yeah, they seem to be good. You know, I can't really complain. They're all still alive, and they're all still alive until they're not, until we're eating them, if you know what I'm saying. But so far, that one went well. I should repeat that one sometime. Yeah, they're all doing good. We recently acquired a bull, so he's there for 3 months, takes care of business, and hopefully we'll have some newbies here in the next 8 to 9 months, if you know what I'm saying as well.
Ali Richter, are there any songs that you wish you could perform but aren't popular enough to play in concert?
What's interesting about the Christmas show is we're literally playing, I think, every song off the Christmas album. We added Carol and Joseph this year, which we've never played before. There you go, to the phone lady, for you. So on the Christmas album, no, but there's always these songs. Like Control is a very personal song for me. I was going to say Fight on Fighter, but we usually play Fight on Fighter. Yeah, so Control would be one that I always found I looked forward to. It's a hard song to sing, but it's a very personal song. Yeah.
Tracy Paul, over left. Do you have any plans for another movie?
Where was Tracy Paul? That was you, okay, yeah. Yes, in theory, the beginning part of next year, we're going to be going into production of a film called Drummer Boy. You're actually going to see a concept trailer for it, but it takes so many twists and turns. If you only knew even phone calls today. So truthfully, say a prayer for us, because music is hard. Music is hard. Film is virtually impossible. Like when you start, I was doing a little research because I'm a numbers guy and I like to research and read about the history of films. And so I was reading about Wonka that just came out with Timothy Chalamet last year or the year before that. And you kind of think, oh, someone probably 3 years ago thought we should do a remake of Willy Wonka's story, and we'll put it. That's been going on for like 10 years. And so films are just enormously difficult, and how people write scripts, and then executives don't write scripts, and then they rewrite the script. They fire that guy. That director made somebody mad. And he's not. It's just always complicated.
And then the director wants to play his dad in a film.
That's a tough one as well. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, there's so many twists and turns, but we're really, really close to getting that all finished off. We, in theory, will be going to Ireland mid-January to scout it, and hopefully we'll get this thing off to the races, and you'll be hearing more about it in the coming months.
And we've been working on it for 8 years.
We've been working on it for 8 years.
We've been working on it for a long time.
So all I have to say is, if it comes out, please go.
Go and bring about 300 of your closest friends.
Tracy Lamb? Do you have any rituals before each concert?
Luke has some really weird ones, but we won't go share. He doesn't. We have some time together. We'll basically leave. When we leave, you will go and have some dinner, and Dad will usually read actually some of your comments from the prior shows, and then we'll share a word and say a prayer, and kind of any. So tonight will be special because it's the last night, obviously, of the tour of the year, and then we try about 10 minutes before the actual downbeat of the show, the band and us try and have just the 9 of us a kind of close-knit moment where we'll say a prayer and then we do the ole, the ole, ole, like in a circle, kicking our feet. Yeah, Luke loves it. And then at the end, we'll put our hands in, and our band leader Garrett will set an intention for the night. So what was last night, for instance? It was like one night will be presence, or gratitude, and so we'll kind of take that into the night, and then we hug it out. And Luke loves that too.
Look, I like these people. I've hugged them once, we're good. We don't need to do it again. Like, we're fine.
All right, we got time for one more. Jaybird Hart. Got you anywhere, Jaybird? Seriously? All right. What are you most looking forward to in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that we talked about that film. It'll be very interesting to see, you know, how that all, you know, pans out. I think that's always, you know, going to be, you know, new projects are always, you know, life-giving and draining all at the same time. You know, there's obviously new music coming out, but in some cases, you know, and my wife's much better at this than actually I am. She really, you know, kind of has a word for the year and really thinks through like, this great vision for the year. And for me, and this is probably just more my personality, but I just like the adventure of what's to come. And in some cases, not always knowing, you know, what's to come is quite wonderful. You know, I think that the best things that have ever happened to me in my life have always been the unexpected surprises. And so I hope to be inspired, and I hope to be surprised by next year. You know, I have lived a life where I've gotten the privilege of, you know, I'm 39 now, and I get to look back and I see the trail of God's faithfulness in my life. And, you know, this next year, I would love to be able to sit up here on the Opry stage on December 19th, 2026, and say, look at the marvel of looking back on a year and once again seeing the trail of God's faithfulness. And so for me, you know, I think the challenge is just trying to remain in the present of the twists and the turns, and, you know, never getting too high and never getting too low, because, you know, God uses struggle in people's lives to do extraordinary things. And so, you know, there might be some immense struggle, but when you overcome that struggle, there's amazing things that it produces in your life. And for that, I'm intrigued to see how it goes.
Amen. Guys, you have been the loveliest groups. Thank you so much for your thoughtful questions and the laughs, and enjoy yourself. We will see you very soon.
Thanks, guys.